Hi there, this is DZ all the way from Holland, and you're listening to Lunch and Learn with your host, Myra McKnight, where there's always something good to talk about.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your host, Myra McKnight, and I am, as always, guys, I hope you do not get bored with me telling you how much I appreciate you listening to my podcast. I enjoy sending you all this love of practical information that I have learned over the years and in my teaching and in my business. Of course, I am the president and CEO of Better One, Better Two Relationship Academy here in Atlanta, Georgia. And what we do is help couples to find out where they are and help them to look at the things that they want out of a relationship and begin to build on that. No, we are a different kind of bringing couples together. We don't do therapy. We don't wear the white coats, and we don't chart down your issues. And we don't get into your mom's business or your dad's business and your family business. If you are just a regular folk, just a regular person who has the ups and downs in relationships, as we all do, then what we do at Better One, Better Two is to kind of help you navigate through that. But what we found and what I found over the 25 years I've been doing this, of encouraging and building relationships for people, is that it all starts with you. It starts with you. It cannot start with anyone else. It starts with you. It starts with you from the inside. So, with that being said, it's very important when couples come together that they come together with a mindset that they know what they want out of a relationship and out of this person. They know the expectations, and also that person understands the expectations of what they want. That's extremely, extremely important. So that's what I do. And outside of that, MyraMcKnight.com is where I host, I encourage, I'm here for the community. If you are looking for someone to mentor you, to coach you, if you are looking for someone to speak to your group, your organization, your family reunion, that is your girl, Myra McKnight. I am here for you to encourage you and your family to move to the next level in life and in future. All right, that being said, hey everybody, let's get down to the podcast. I'm only going to be with you just for a short period of time, but I do want to talk to you about something that I have found is most helpful when we're on this journey of life. Hindsight Media Radio is birthed out of just the consciousness of knowing, the consciousness of rectifying things before they get out there, the consciousness of saying, you know what, something inside of me is telling me not to do this. And something inside of me is telling me, okay, you know what, don't fall for the okie doke on this real estate deal, and pay $600 to get a plan, and you don't know if you're gonna even buy the real estate or not. Something kind of says don't go over that. Don't go down the rabbit hole. And we do it anyway. And when we do that, we suffer the consequences. And I say that what we do is we work with trying to get out of a hole that we have put ourselves into. And that's an unfortunate situation when we do those kind of things. So what you want to do is you want to maximize yourself. You want to maximize your thought process. And you want to go deep within yourself and find out what is most important in your life going forward. And when we look at the things where we try to find out. And then what we want to do is we get excited and we want to do all these things. And what we do is we run and we tell everybody. We tell the whole world. Okay. But when you do that, you subject yourself to losing that energy, that vibration that you would normally get when you keep it in house. You remember mom used to say, what's in this house stays in this house. It doesn't go outside the door. Well, that's not only the good things, the bad things, it's the good things as well. And so let's talk about silence. Let's talk about, people say that you suffer in silence. But I want to talk to you today about succeeding in silence. Succeeding in silence. And what does that mean, Myra, to succeed in silence? What it means is that I am working my jig. I am working my gig. I am working my process. I am working my plan. And nobody knows about my plan but me. Nobody knows about my plan but me, the God within me, or someone that is close to me in the niche that's in the total scheme of things. And when you do that, you begin to succeed in silence, then people will be able to see you openly. All those things you've done, you move together, you wean together, you tie together, you rope together, you do that up under, pretty much up under the table is how you do it. You do it up on the table. You don't tell people what you're doing because there's energy out there that will snatch that very thing that you are wanting to produce and present to the world, and then it's gone. Now, I don't know about you. There's been many times in my life that I've had an idea, or I said I was going to do a particular thing. And when I went to do that particular thing, it was gone. Somebody else had grabbed it. And this is not any kind of ooey gooey louie stuff. This is just real. And they grab it based upon the vibrations that you just set out there. The vibrations that you just put out there is what's bringing that into fruition. So what you want to do is, these are some steps that you want to take because you want to succeed, but you succeed in silence. And I see people on Facebook and on Instagram and all that. They are blowing themselves up. I've done this and I've done that and I'm this and I'm that. And it is good to a point to taunt yourself. It is good to put yourself out there, to make yourself bigger than life. To say you're doing all these amazing, wonderful, and God-given, talented things. Those things are good. But sometimes to be true about it, when you really investigate those people, they're really not doing all that big stuff. They're really or inflating themselves, and some people have this grandiose attitude of who they are, and those kind of things. And I'm not knocking that. That's good if that gets you money, that gets you more emails. Then cool, do your thing. But what I'm asking you to do is be more conscious, be more aware, be more thoughtful of the things that you are doing. If that's how they're rolling, then that's not a problem. That's not an issue. It shouldn't be your issue anyway. But just make sure that you're always mindful. So we're talking about succeeding uh, in silence. Succeeding in silence. And what's some of the ways that you can make sure you maintain that? Is to control your day. Make sure you are cognizant enough, you are woke enough, you are conscious enough to where you know what your day is about. You can't just get up and say, "Oh, it's another day." I mean, I'm so used to getting up, getting up, getting up, getting up. I got up this morning. I didn't even know what day it was actually because my husband got up late. So when he gets up late, I get up late. So I thought it was Saturday. Of course, no, it is not Saturday. But anyway, I knew my body internally was like, okay, time to get up. Time to get up, time to begin to succeed, time to get into your success mode, time to do those things that are working for the benefit of you, your family, and your future. Control your day. Prepare your day the next day, the before the next day. Prepare your day at night. Prepare your day in the morning. Before you go out the door, you just look at the fact that you are going to have some good and some bad coming at you. Some of it you're going to miss. Some you're going to miss some good vibes. You're going to miss some bad vibes. But prepare your day. Control your day. Know where you're going. Know what you're going to do. Have a plan always. And make sure you got a journal. Make sure you're writing down. Make sure you got Google. Make sure you got something on your phone, some type of app that reminds you of the things that you need to do throughout your day. Okay. This one is extremely important. You want to control what you hear from other people. You want to control what you say to other people, and you want to control what you accept. That's extremely important because sometimes people are talking and you take it and you take it into the ear gate and you let it marinate into your spirit. And you either believe it or you don't believe it. Whatever it does, sometimes it makes your day happy. Sometimes it makes your day sad. Sometimes it totally disrupts the whole week. So you have to be careful what you hear, what you say, and what you accept. And that goes into controlling your day, making sure that okay, I'm getting up today, I'm gonna have a magnificent, fantastic, awesome day. Do we have that all the time? No, we don't. Sometimes we run into some hiccups. But even in that, you want to make sure you can contain those hiccups so and rather than a cup of junk, it's gonna be a teaspoon. I was like, okay, it ain't a cup, it's a teaspoon, and I'm gonna just deal with this teaspoon and move on. Because I'd rather have a cup of good stuff than of good stuff than a cup of bad stuff. All right, just give me another teaspoonful. Okay, you know what? One thing happened to me, which just agitated me tremendously. And I don't know if this is something that they do when you go to the restaurant and you give your the waitress or the waiter their pay. And if you do it with cash, for some reason they keep your change. And I've never ever, to me, that's stealing. And they don't say anything about it. Say if it's um 11.57, well, and you give them $15, well, they'll give you the dollars minus the change. And I'm thinking, what happened to the rest of my money? You go to school to learn how to add, right? And you just took it. You don't say anything. You just took it. And I never approached anybody about it. I know I asked my husband about it. Like, they didn't give my change. So that to me is an irritant. It's really an irritant. So you can take that and be mad about it, talk about it all day long, or you can say, okay, next time I know what to do. I'm going to pay you with a credit card or debit card. I won't pay you with cash. But if I pay you with cash, I'm going to be cognizant of the fact that I want all my money back. And if I want to give you the change, I will. But you don't let it marinate. You don't accept it. You learn to control it. Another thing that you want to do is you want to reward yourself daily. And how do you do that? You might say, well, Myra, I can't do that every day. I can't do it's just as it's just as minimal of patting yourself on the back. Saying, job well done, girl. Job well done, God. You did a good thing today. You were magnificent today. You were awesome today because it's about energy. It's about vibration. It's about you pouring into you and not waiting on somebody else to do it for you. Because the truth be told, people aren't going to always tell you how good you are, how nice you are, how wonderful you are, how you've helped them, what you've done for them. People forget. They forget easily. And we do that because we're human. But when you're conscious and you are grateful and you live in a world of gratitude all the time, you want to find somebody, something, somewhere to say something good to today. How do you go about your day and say nothing good? Good to people you don't know, and definitely good to people that you do know. Because that happens. That happens. Sometimes we're out in the workforce, we're out in the area, we can find all kind of great, nice, wonderful things to say to other people. We can encourage other people. But when we get to our kids and families and moms or dads or cousins and those kind of people, I've been around you for a while. I ain't really gotta, encourage you. I don't really have to enlighten you. I'm just, it's just me, and it's just you. So, but you never know what that person might need. So we're talking about succeeding in silence, making sure that you are weaving your basket. If you think, and this is just a thought, back in times of slavery, and I'm just bringing this up as an example. Back in times of slavery, they had to be very, very silent before they made their move. They had to weave the quilts together that showed, that told a story or gave a map. They didn't talk about it. They couldn't talk about it. But they were able to communicate that information to those like spirits, those vibrations that knew what was going on, whether it was hanging the clothes outside, and whether it was the quilt and what it meant, and showing the pathway of freedom for themselves. And the freedom was the success. The freedom was the goal. but they couldn't tell everybody what they were doing. Of course, that was an unfortunate time in the history of America and the history of African Americans. It was extremely unfortunate, but they learned to adapt in a way that they knew the powers that be that were over them would not let them go. So therefore, they had to begin to be silent about where they were going and be adamant about what they were going to do. So succeeding in silence is a way to where you have more control. And what also happens in that is that, again, going back to the ear gate, people weren't able to just say things about, if I say I'm going to make $1 million and I tell you that, and I say, okay, I'm going to make $1 million in real estate. Well, somebody's going to tell you, well, the real estate market is headed for a downslope. You know that the government is tapping down on real estate, and so what that does for you at that point, it kind of gives you a kind of a Debbie Downer. That kind of says, oh, well, that person said I was thinking about doing that, but that person said X, Y, Z. So what if you didn't tell that person? What if you didn't broadcast it? You will still be on your journey to make your $1 million silently, and at some point you're going to catch it. And another thing is, what happens when we tell everybody everything that's going on in our lives and what we're doing and what we're looking to do? How many times does that just, if it doesn't happen or if it doesn't work out, they say, well, what happened? What happened? For instance, I had a client the other day, and she's looking to get married, and they've been together for some time. And she said, people are asking her, well, did he pop the question yet? Or is he going to marry you? Or what is he waiting on? And how long is it going to be? And have you got a ring yet? But see, and I said to her, you caused that problem. You caused yourself a problem because the success of your relationship is not bent on someone else. You date in silence, you work in silence, you build your household in silence, you surprise people when the surprise comes. And so now she's dealing with frustration because, of course, Christmas is past, New Year's is past, it's the first of the year, and she's holding out for February that he's gonna pop the question, he's gonna go buy the ring. But and I said to her, well, the ring doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's a symbol, a beautiful symbol, but that doesn't mean that that is going to be success. It doesn't mean that it's going to be successful. It just means you bought a ring and you got one. And many women have had many rings and no marriage, no relationship, and not even with a person. So succeeding in silence is very, very important. You want to leave a job? You want to move to a better job? Don't tell anybody. Work your work within your work. Plan. And I always, something I always say, you pray, you plan, you perceive, and you do the doggone thing. But you have to pray within yourself, begin to plan out your maneuvers, what you're going to do, and then you proceed. And you don't need an army to proceed. You don't need an army to pray. You don't need an army to plan. You just need to do you. Learning to succeed in silence without someone else on your back, without someone else saying, giving you the to do's and have to's and those kind of things. Because a plan that's well thought out will come to fruition. Does it take time? Yep. Excuse me. It does take time. But what it does take is tenacity. It does take perseverance. It does take focusing on what you want to grow. You can't just throw it out there, throw a seed out into the ground and expect it to grow. You're going to get something. You're going to get something, some weeds. You're going to get something. But if you plant the seed and you tend to it, meaning that you focus on it, you're checking in with it, you're even talking to it. You're like, look, okay, I'm planting you and I'm ready for you to move. Are you going to grow in this atmosphere or that atmosphere? Is the soil correct? All those things take into consideration. And one thing is, how happy are you when you plant a seed and you see a little bitty something coming up? Then you feel real good about that. Then you can pat yourself on the back. That's extremely important. But you got to see some growth. You got to be able to see something grow that you do. And another thing is, Why is it good to succeed in silence? Because everybody doesn't wish you well. Not that they hate you, not that they dislike you, anything like that, but everybody doesn't wish you well. Everybody won't be your cheerleader. You might be theirs, but they won't be yours. You might can talk about all the fantastic thing they're doing. You can collaborate with them. You can pat them on the back. You can give them a while. You can show up for the game. You can say, hey, I'm praying for you. Hey, I know you're moving. But there are times when no one will do that for you, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay to succeed in silence. If that's how it has to be, that's how it has to be. You can't make people want to pat you on the back. Some people just don't have that. Some people want encouragement, but they don't want to give the encouragement. So you have to be okay with that hindsight. That's being conscious, that's being aware. Your energy is more powerful than getting something from someone that has no energy at all. Some people's energy and vibration is only for themselves. That's that excitement they got. That's that hurrah they got. And it's only for them. Everybody doesn't have the same level of energy. Now, you could have so much, a lot of times, this is what we do. We have more energy for other people than we do for ourselves. But let me say something to you so help you understand. No matter how much energy I have for another person, it's not going to help them. What helps them? We know what helps them. They have to accumulate the same amount of energy in their lives that they want to have. And then when we come together as one in one agreement, then that's going to be wow. But if I'm the only one holding the energy for you, me, and everybody else, I'm only depleting my own self. I'm not getting anything back because those around you that you have that energy for, because I want you to do. I talked about that yesterday. I don't want to be disappointed. I want you to do this. I know you can do this. I'm pushing you to do this. I'm praying for you to do this. I'm doing all of those things. But you're sitting like a log and you're doing nothing. And your energy is so low. So if I'm trying to get to you with my high energy, I gotta go all the way down to that low energy and say, come on, you could do it. You could do it. But what has to happen to ignite yours with mine is that you must know that that person has the same amount of energy. You gotta know that that person is able to lift themselves up and grab a hold of me. Okay, and let's move this thing. If you grab a hold of me, we can move it together. But if you don't grab a hold of me, you don't grab that energy, you don't get that fire, you don't get what you need to stand up on your own, then it's going to be hard to catch with me. It's about energy, it's about vibration, it's about succeeding in silence. Another thing that you want to do, you want to reward yourself daily. And I don't think I said that. Or did I say that? Reward yourself daily, reward yourself in silence. Whether it's a pat on the back, whether it's going to a movie, whether it's having a steak, whether it's going to a play, whether it's just taking a walk, whether it's communing with the Spirit of God, whatever it is that you need to do that puts a smile on your face, that is a reward. That's a reward for you. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're working towards rewarding yourself, that you're putting yourself in a position and you pat yourself on the back. Everybody won't do that, but you can do it. You can do it. You know, we all need a push. Of course we do. But we all have to realize that there's sometimes we're not going to get that push. And you got to be okay with that. So you're going to have to look in the mirror and tell yourself just how proud you are of you. You're going to have to look in the mirror and say, you're going to go far in this life. You got a game plan, you got a goal, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to put everything aside. I'm going to watch what I hear, watch what I see, watch what I take in, and watch what I say. I'm going to control my day. I'm going to control the narrative of my day. And if some low energy, some disruptive energy comes into my space, then I am going to learn how to easily back away. I'm going to learn how to easily move away. I'm going to learn how to disconnect from that because that bad energy is not good for anybody. at all. And sometimes people have to be in that particular space. I don't want to say that you're up and at it all the time, but you do have to understand that there's going to be sometimes people are just not feeling it. They just they just like it ain't there. And I'm trying to get it there. But the thing that you don't want to do is push yourself. People say just push till something happens. Sometimes you just gotta sit down. Sometimes you just gotta take a ride. Sometimes you gotta just sit on the park bench and watch the world continue to evolve. Sometimes you just gotta do nothing. Sometimes you just gotta, get audible, put it in your earplugs and listen to a story or a book. Sometimes you just gotta stop because life is unpredictable in a lot of ways, challenging in a lot of ways. But at the end of the day, we want to be here. At the end of the day, life offers some amazing and magnificent and wonderful opportunities for all of us to partake in. When you look at how beautiful the sky is, you look how beautiful the day is, you look at all those amazing things in life, you know, um, men, women, boy, and girl can't touch the magnificence and the majesty of this universe. They can't even touch it, no matter. They can't do that. But if you hone in on what's true and you hone in on what is connecting to your spirit, then it's going to bring a smile on your face. It's going to bring happiness to you. Happiness is not 24/7. Happiness is what you make it and what you accept it to be. When you are succeeding in silence, you are working towards the benefit of you from within. And then, and you know what's amazing? Another example is when people are trying to get healthy, and especially when people are dieting. Excuse me, when people are dieting, and they see you one way, and then later on, 2 months, 6 months down the line, they see you as a totally different person. Well, that's because most people aren't advertising. Unless they go on YouTube and they want to deal with that transformation, um, going from one point to another. But in silence, you're working this thing because you might fail one month, you might fail one day, you might fail one week, and you have to get back on. And it's not something that you want to advertise. But as you keep going, you get better, you get better, you get better. And people, when they see you from where you were to where you are now in a positive light, they're like, wow, that's a total transformation. Wow, you look amazing. Wow, you're grown up. Wow, you're so mature. Well, you worked on yourself and you realize some of the bad habits you had. You realize some of the things that you needed to do to be a better person. No matter what you do, when you live on this planet, you're going to always, always, always need to be able to control yourself. Succeeding in silence means that you are self governed. It means that you are responsible for the words you say, the things you do. Succeeding in silence means that you have made a decision to be a better person every day because I want to succeed. When you become a better person, you'll start to succeed in all the other areas of your life. Being a better person means that you are cognizant of what you do and you also are cognizant of what others do for you. And a lot of times people forget that. They forget what other people have done for them and it's all about them. And that's a selfish spirit. That's a selfish energy. That's a selfish vibe. That's like, oh, I got her on my own. I mean, you couldn't have got her on your own because you had to go from your father to your mother to 9 months, and surely you had nothing to do with that. You know, you didn't get her on your own. Not at all. You got where you are with the accumulations of others that have benefited you to this point in your life, whether it's one word, 2 words, 10 words, or whatever. But at some point, you become self governed and you become responsible for you and the things you do and the things that you say. My grandmother used to say, you know, and we talk about karma. Karma is an energy. Karma is an energy. Karma is that energy that you put out. And if you put out an energy of selfishness, if you put out an energy of it's all about me, if you put out an energy of frustration and anger and misconception, then that will come back to you. It will always come back to you because that is kind of like it comes back from where it was born. If you bore that kind of energy out, then you bore it. and you brought it to life, and it's going to come back to where it originates from. But when you are conscious and you are mindful and you are in a space where you don't have to be happy go lucky all the time. You don't have to rule the world all the time. You don't have to be the top of everything. But you gotta, and I always say, shot the hell out of yourself. How good can you be? How nice can you be? How self governed can you be in life? Going towards being better is a journey, it's a life journey. And when you look at the world and you look at the things around us, there's a lot of unfortunate, dark um, energy that's around, dark vibrations and words that people say and things that people do. And it's pretty not so nice. And I've kind of been always the kind of person, whether I might say, I might not say, but I look, I seek, and I kind of say, wow, you mean tell me this is what you think, this is what you did, this is how you roll, this is how you act. But I won't, might not say it verbally, but I'm thinking like, wow, all that you have, all the blessings you've been blessed with, all the good people in your life, and this is how you act. These are things you say. These are things you do, and not particularly of anyone in particular, but you see people that should be so much have so much more gratitude in life than they do. But you can't change that. That's their vibration. That's their energy. We all have our own vibe, our own energy, our own spirit that God has given us, and we walk with it every day. And it's up to us to decide that we want to energize that spirit. We want to make it more of a positive spirit. It doesn't mean you're a perfect person, but it does mean that you strive to be a perfect person, that you strive to be the best person. Um, a person is conscious, a person who has high energy, a person who indulges in success in life and look to be the best. Those are not the people that are going to rob a bank. They're not the people that's going to steal from you. They're not the people who are going to have five, six, seven, 10 men or 10 women, and they're in a committed relationship. Those are not the people that scream and holler and cuss. Those are not the people, because when you have those attributes, you are living in a very dark and low energy lifestyle. That's a bad space to be in. And you can only get what you give out. But sometimes we can have mid-level energy and vibrations, and we're just feeling not we're feeling good, not that good, and maybe it's better, it could be better. But you know what? Sometimes you just have to accept where you are and know it's going to get better, and then work towards those things to make it better. We all want to succeed, but it's important that we succeed in silence. And when that thing rolls, it was kind of like, okay, the grand opening is here. I've been working on my house. I've been doing some things. I've been working on me internally and externally. Now, ta-da, it's here. Working in silence and the rewards will come. So what are we going to recap here is that we're going to control our day. Okay. We're going to control our day. Gratitude is so important. When you're able to open your eyes and stand up on your feet, that is amazing. That is magnificent, because that means all the different organs and things that are going on in your body, they are still working together. We don't want our organs not to work together. We want them to work in unison. Also, you control what you hear. You're not allowing junk in, junk out. It is what it is. You're going to also be careful of what you say. That's important. What you say and how you say it. That's always been a big deal. When working with couples or individuals, it's like how you say that. How do you actually say that? Where does it come from that you can actually say that to somebody? I just don't. I don't wake up every day to hurt, to disrespect, to cause anybody pain. That has never been an option for me. But some people are able to say things that are so bitter and so harsh and so hurtful to people, and I just cannot gravitate to my mind how you were even able to do that. How do those words come out of your mouth when I'm quite sure someone has done something nice for you? But that person is in a has very dark energy going on at that time, their vibration. So watch what you say, watch what you accept. You can't accept everything, but you can accept pieces of everything. There's something that somebody might say. I might not get the whole speech or the whole sermon or the whole talk, but there's something, there's a nugget in there. It's like, you know what? I didn't get what you said, and I'm not truly on that, but I believe that other thing you said. Oh, I'm with that. But you don't have to take, that's just like when you go out somewhere and you get a dinner, and in that dinner, some of it you like, some of it you don't. If you give me something with okra, that ain't happening. I'm not going to eat the okra, but I might eat the sweet potato, or I might eat the mashed potatoes, or the fish, or something like that. So don't accept everything. Be careful what you accept. And what's really important as well is to reward yourself in silence. Pat yourself on the back. You might go and buy a new T-shirt, you know, and if and somebody might say, "Oh, what you gonna buy that for? It was only $2, and you didn't need to buy that." And no, no, no. Do what you need to do to reward yourself, because most of the time people won't do that. Reward yourself for what you do. At the end of the day, ask yourself, what kind of person were you today? Were you proud of what you did today? Were you happy? Did it energize you? Did it raise your vibration and you did something good today? How did you treat people today? And if you ask yourself at the end of the day, how was I? You're going to be surprised, because your spirit will tell you. Well, we have had our time together and I have enjoyed it immensely. This is Myra McKnight, your host. I am coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, and sending you love all across the globe. Hindsight wants to thank all of you all over the world who are listening to Lunch, Brunch, and Learn, who are listening to my other podcast, which is Preparing for Life's Landing. That's a series of all of us beginning to know where we're going to land so that we can begin to live and enjoy this magnificent world that we have been given the opportunity to live within. I want you to make it a great day, because it's very important that you do that. Pray for me as I pray for you, and we will have our conversation again on tomorrow.
Thank you for tuning in to Lunch and Learn with Myra McKnight, heard only on Hindsight Media Radio, 103.5 FM, where there's always something good to talk about.